Hello, everybody. This is the Service Entrepreneurship Podcast. My name is Jake. Here we interview founders of different nonprofits and of different organizations. We are currently being filmed in front of a live studio audience of the Jewish Leadership Academy's 10th and 12th grade. And we have with us here Eli Beer, founder of United Hatzalah. How's it going, Eli?
Great to see you, Jake. I'm excited.
All right. So just for those listening in at home from the podcast and for the students who may have not been paying attention while you were talking earlier, tell us about yourself, about United Hatzalah, briefly, your involvement there, and what do you guys do?
Well, I created United Hatzalah with a mission of responding to every emergency throughout Israel. Our goal is to get there in 90 seconds. And in order to get there, you need to use volunteers. These are not paid people. Because once you have paid people, it's going to be much harder to get there quicker, just because you need to have a lot of people everywhere in the country. And the only way to really get them motivated is when you don't pay them. So we have 8,000 volunteers now. Our goal is to get there in 90 seconds, so we have to double the amount of volunteers. We respond with ambucycles, these motorcycle ambulances, two-wheelers, that go through traffic immediately, and that's the goal, of saving people's lives.
Very cool. Okay, so you talk about having volunteers. According to my research, I looked it up. You have over 8,000 volunteers. That's the number. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm looking, and we talk about a lot when it comes to entrepreneurship and building a nonprofit or any sort of company, really, your elevator pitch. So I'd imagine there are sort of two pitches that you have to make as like within United Hatzalah. There's pitches to volunteers, prospective volunteers, and there's also pitches that you would make to potential investors. How would those differ? Is there sort of some overlap in that?
Well, I think the real look, if you look at the two aspects of the exact same, like donors, investors call them, and volunteers are exactly the same. Volunteers who go out to calls are giving their money and time and life for this. Some volunteers paid in their own life going to save other people's lives. Unfortunately, on October 7th, we lost 3 volunteers. We lost volunteers on their way to calls on ambucycles. They go out to calls every day. So we have 2,000 emergencies in Israel. A volunteer leaves his job, leaves his family. I could have a volunteer as a taxi driver, and he goes out to 5 emergencies every day. That's a loss of income. So I look at them exactly the same as I look at the investors, the donors. And that's why we're successful. We give them both the respect they need, and we explain to them what we're going to do, and they get hooked on. And once they get hooked on, they don't want to leave. They want to continue.
I like it. So do you think that you get more people approaching you who already feel that sort of purpose, or do you do more outreach to find people to get involved?
I always do outreach to find more volunteers. We're now looking for 8,000 more volunteers. Slowly, it's not going to be in 1 year. It's going to take a few years, but we look for the people. We sift through them. We check them out, and we want to see people who are committed not only to do the course, but to respond to calls for the next 20 years. And we do the same with donors. We do events for donors. We bring donors to see our headquarters. We have young kids your age who join the Light Legacy Heroes, and they become the next generation donors. We actually invest in donors / volunteers, the same exact, and we go around looking for both.
Okay, awesome. So when you were first starting out, United Hatzalah, hearing your story, it's incredible. You were very young, and you saw how old were you?
I was 6. When I saw the first terrorist attack.
Yes,
I was 6 years old.
6 years old, and from then you had that mission, and you had that driving force behind you. So how do you think that has shaped how United Hatzalah functions, how you've approached dealing with it with all these years?
Well, look, I saw a terrorist attack. A bus blew up in front of my eyes, and I saw people die. It was a terrible event. I was a little kid coming back from school, and I remember how people were just laying there waiting for help. And I said, growing up, I want to go around saving people's lives. I used to go to Yad Vashem and see how Hitler used to convince his people to just become mass murderers, to be monsters. And he literally changed Europe to make Europe the worst human beings that were living in history, were living in Europe in his time. And I said, how do I influence people to join in, to save lives, to be the opposite? I want to go save 6 million Jews. How do I do that? And I literally focus my life on getting the right people in the door, bringing the right volunteers and supporters. And it's my life mission, and I love it every day.
It's amazing. So, I mean, you talk a lot about this. I want to. They killed 6 million Jews. I want to save 6 million Jews. What do you think is the stat? How many people has Hatzalah saved?
Well, we treated way over 8 million people already since we started. I don't know if every single person we treated was saved or needed to be saved. Some people, they could have waited a little more. That wouldn't have made a difference. But I know that at least 100 people a day, they're between life and death. Out of 2,000 emergencies, right? At least 100 people, 5% at least, are life-threatening emergencies that we make a difference. So slowly, we're getting there. And the beautiful part is, I want to get to 6 million people I saved, and I can't do it on my own. I need to get people like you to volunteer. So you save, you bring your friend, he saves, and thousands of volunteers over the years, 8,000 are working for the mission I believe in. And a part of this organization that I'm part of, and we're all together in this. And last week I heard a story of one of our volunteers on October 7th saved a general from death. He was bleeding to death. He was shot while he was fighting terrorists on October 7th. It was 8:35 in the morning. So this I heard this story last week, and the beautiful part about this general was just appointed to be the head of Mossad.
Wow.
Roman Dorfman.
That's insane.
Think about it. We saved someone on October 7th. This guy he's going to save. He's actually in charge of protecting Israel for the next 4 years, protecting the Jewish people all around the world. And how many lives will be saved because of that? So it's all an effect of a dream I had of saving 6 million Jews.
It's amazing. I mean, we have this principle, I guess, in Judaism that when you save one person, it's like you're saving the whole universe. So you save this one guy, and imagine how many people he's going to save. So it's not just that you're saving these people directly; you're saving so many people.
It's actually so true what you're saying. It's like you save one life; it's like a whole world saved. We saved the head of Mossad.
It's amazing. That's actually it's insane to think about.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know what? I always say it doesn't matter if it's a head of Mossad or it's just a simple person on the street. It's all about saving lives. But yeah, once in a while, you save someone like the head of Mossad, it really brings a huge impact to the work you do every day.
It's amazing. Okay.
Talking about the Mossad, I'm just going to show you something. I have a little pager here.
Okay.
And this is a pager that we use at Hatzalah to go out to calls. We have a lot more advanced technology, but this is a basic technology.
You guys still use pagers?
No, so we have a few left, and we keep it for in case we're under the grid, something happens. The weather yesterday in Israel was terrible, or God forbid, attack from Iran and then knock down all our towers. So it's funny talking about the head of Mossad, and Yossi Cohen is coming here next week for the United Hatzalah Gala that we're having on Wednesday. And here we have the beepers. I'm actually carrying it on me all the time. And it's a reminder of the Jewish entrepreneurship, that using a beeper, a pager that doctors use usually to get calls, and blowing up our enemies with it. It's unbelievable.
Honestly, crazy. I don't know how they thought of it.
Ask Yossi Cohen next week. Maybe we'll get him on the podcast.
Oh, maybe. That'd be pretty cool. So you have this, you pull that out of your vest. You have this whole vest going on. Is this a standard Hatzalah vest, what people usually wear?
Yeah, so, when you go out to calls, you want people to know that you are a Hatzalah volunteer. And by the way, half the people you go to treat, once they see this orange vest, somehow they feel better. It's amazing. You touch them, you say, take the blood pressure, you'd say the pulse. You see, just give a little tap on the shoulder, and you see people feel better. The orange vest relaxes people and also keeps us protected because they could see us at night. And we have the same exact one with a bulletproof protector. So We actually have
It's important, yeah.
Kevlar and yep.
Okay. So Hatzalah, you have a lot of these like you have the ambucycle. Do you think what do you think Hatzalah has done for first responders that's really like that's changed the game, the landscape of that? There's of course the ambucycle. Are there any other sort of like techniques that Hatzalah has developed or any sort of other technologies that have changed the way that you respond to emergencies?
Well, if you think about it, the ambucycle is a brilliant idea. You know, I started it when I was a young kid. I didn't know that I heard that during the war, the World War I, I think, or World War II, someone in Europe during the war used it to transport patients during the war. Mm-hmm. I don't exactly know his name, but something. But I didn't know because I lived in Israel. I wasn't alive that time. But when I came up with this idea of the ambucycle, is because I saw a problem. They had a serious problem. Ambulances were not going through traffic, and people were dying. I saw people die because we couldn't get there fast enough. And I said, the reason we can't get there because we have traffic. Why do they have motorcycles delivering pizza and the pizza is getting there while it's still hot? And we're getting to patients while they're freezing cold because they didn't have blood, circulating.
Yeah, gotcha.
So I said, let's turn ambulances to motorcycles and we'll call it ambucycles. And that's simple. Now we use drones to deliver medical equipment. We could deliver. Yesterday, that floodings in Israel, we delivered floats, and people were drowning, and we actually on drones we send out floats for people, and we have these very heavy drones that could push people out of the water, so that they were holding the float and they had a rope, and then we were helping people to get out of the water. It was amazing. We use United Hatzalah as an innovation center, life-saving, of course, but innovating. And I think that's the Israeli mind, the Jewish mind. Look how many Israelis and Jews around the world invented things. Social media was more or less invented by Jews. A lot of great things were invented by Jews, medicines and stuff. So Israel is a small little country. United Hatzalah is a small organization, but huge organization follow us and see what we do. After United Hatzalah, many other organizations saw, you know what? We should also use motorcycles.
So it's spread. It's actually made like a difference in.
For sure.
That's amazing. So you mentioned the innovation center. You guys are always trying to like innovate new techniques, new sort of technologies. What are you guys working on now?
I'll tell you something, but it's going to blow your mind. You're not going to believe it's true, but it's actually true. We took 10 years of data of medical response. Where was it? What time? What days was it? We connected it. Every year, we actually put the Hebrew dates to connect it to the new year. And because Sukkot was on a different day last year, English date. And the weather, we connect it to the weather every day. And it actually creates, through AI, predictions where the next emergencies are going to happen.
Really?
So you are a volunteer of United Hatzalah, Jake.
Huh.
You love going out to calls, right?
Love it.
So now you don't go to enough calls because by the time you answer the pager, the thing, 3 other volunteers got there before you. Mm-hmm. But you want to be there before them. So you could use the AI technology United Hatzalah developed, and you could wait on the call before it happens. Just by prediction, literally it sounds fiction, but it's true. We use algorithms and knowledge we have over the years to know where the next emergencies will probably happen. And you wait there, and you have a 90% chance of responding to a call that's nearby you.
And this model, it's been in like testing stages. It's been working out so far?
We were in testing right after October 7th. We started, and now we're like literally, it's not fully operational. Not everywhere around the country, but certain areas where it's actually working really well. And it has to depend on really patterns that happen all the time, right? We can't use it in the south of Israel now because the south of Israel is really not in normal rhythm now. Not all the people are back there. So Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, Haifa, and many other cities, it's working well.
That's amazing. And when do you think that this is going to be in like fully in circulation? And like when do you think this is going to be at a point where it dictates pretty much where Hatzalah stations itself?
Wait, I'm waiting for when I know it works really well is when other organizations copy us. Usually we're copied quite fast. After we succeed, we have now a new technology that's coming out. It came out last week. It's on, instead of ambicycles that are big, even ambicycles are getting big. The traffic is so bad. Machne Yehuda, you can't even go through with a motorcycle. So we started these scooters. You know, people use scooters now in LA and other places. Ambu scooters.
That's cool.
And you actually could respond to calls with an ambu scooter. It has a box like an ambicycle, and you go out to save lives with it. It's amazing. So more and more technologies are coming out, like the drones and other things. I see United Hatzalah as not only a volunteer center, a life-saving center, but also an innovation center, Tikkun Olam, where other organizations that see us and want to see and copy us because of what we do.
Okay. Now to try get into your head a little bit. When you first started United Hatzalah, I mean, you were some like starry-eyed kid who was like looking at the world in some way, and you saw an issue and you really wanted to fix it. Do you think that there are any beliefs or ideas that you had in when you first started United Hatzalah that have either proved themselves to maybe be wrong since then, or have evolved in some way since then that have changed the way you approach it?
Well, I always learn from mistakes. I try not to do the same mistake twice. So we do a lot of things that we think that will be good, and then we have to adjust it. It happens all the time. We bought a lot of technology that I regret now that it was not the right technology. We had to switch it, and it cost money and it efforts, and sometimes even people paid with their lives because we didn't have. You know, you always want to get. You know, we used to use pagers, right? These pagers we used to use were the first technologies we used. After a while, we had to upgrade it already. It wasn't good. And getting to the new technologies, then we found out the one we got was terrible. We had to go back to the pagers and then try again. But the beautiful thing is that you try again and then you get it right, and it's amazing. So that's never giving up and always looking for fixing mistakes you did and making sure you don't do the same mistake.
So what do you think has been, I guess, the biggest surprise throughout the process of building United Hatzalah? You've gone from pretty much you and maybe a couple others on motorcycles, delivering help, listening in on like police walkie-talkies, to 90 seconds from anywhere in Israel. What sort of, how'd you get there, and what struggles have you faced on that journey?
Well, our goal is to get there in 90 seconds. We're not there yet. So in some places we do get there in 90 seconds, but not everywhere. And we still have to focus. Look, it's very much like Uber. If you think about it, Uber, you could be in New York City and call for an Uber or Lyft, and you get a guy coming within a minute. Sometimes I have to cancel because they're there too fast. And I know I'm going to, you see 1 minute, I'm canceling. It's too fast. But
it's a
some
big problem.
places
Here they take like 25 minutes.
Right?
It's a problem. Here they take like 20 minutes.
Yeah, because they don't have enough drivers.
Yeah.
So the more volunteers we'll have, the faster we'll get there. And that's the whole simple idea. And really, I think I'm focusing on getting to the 90 seconds. I want to get there. How do I do that? I want to get better technology all the time. It's bureaucracy. The challenges that really hurt us the most is bureaucracy. Governments don't like disruptions. We were the biggest disruption in life-saving in the history of Israel because they had ambulance service before, but it was too slow. When I started volunteering in an ambulance in Israel, it was 17 minutes a response. Average response in my time. It wasn't good. Today they're much better because they have Hatzalah showing the way. That's why you need, by the way, this is very, very important. I see United Hatzalah, not United Hatzalah, Hatzalah of South Florida here in Florida working really well. And the EMS here has to get better because they see Hatzalah doing so well. It's always like that. Competition is one of the keys of giving good service for the population. We believe we're living in America, and Florida especially. Competition is key to success, not only for the people who get it, but also for the people who provide it. They give better service this way. And I think United Hatzalah is really a disruptor, and the bureaucracy is the hardest thing that we have to deal with.
It's interesting to say that bureaucracy is the hardest thing that you deal with. I mean, the way I've been thinking about Hatzalah is that it sort of works in tandem with emergency services, with the government to an extent. Would you say that you work more with the government or sort of in spite of the government in some ways?
Definitely in spite of.
Yeah?
Definitely. And I tell you, to the government, I had a talk in front of Prime Minister Netanyahu and all the ministers, and I spoke about October 7th. And I said how we went in down south into the kibbutzim, moshavim, when we were told not to go in. They told us not to go in. The Ministry of Health and other ambulance services who left that area because it was very dangerous. They were not supposed to be there. But we, as volunteers, said we are supposed to be here. Yes, if you are emergency services and have a war, you decide not to go. It's your business. Hatzalah, United Hatzalah, will never say no to someone who need help. No matter if the person is in the water like last night and needed help, and we sent volunteers swimming in the water literally, and they came on tractors, they came on, they sent drones in. If someone is under fire, our volunteers are going to wear a bulletproof vest, a helmet, and take a gun if they need to, and try rescuing that person, even if their life is in danger. And we're not under rules of union or under rules of any other regulations. We're on the rules of Hashem. Pikuach nefesh, dochet kol haTorah.
Love that. Could you translate that for the viewers?
Yeah. Torah, you know what that is?
Yeah.
Pikuach nefesh is the sacred of life, is more important than the whole Torah.
Yeah.
So when you have bureaucracy stopping you, I deal with bureaucracy all the time. I'll give you an example. They have medicines in Israel that monopolies control. Like EpiPens is a monopoly.
It's a monopoly in Israel. That's interesting.
Yes, it's
Okay.
a terrible monopoly. And we need to bring life to people. We could actually create EpiPens that cost $2 instead of $100.
But they won't let you?
No, because regulations and
The
stuff,
patents.
and but interesting, in COVID they let us do almost everything, right? We gave people vaccines if we needed, whatever we needed. Okay, fine.
So they like you when they need you.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, no. Okay, you want to want to create your own, you can't because you need to be a doctor or paramedic. But what about EMTs? They want to give someone an adrenaline shot instead of an EpiPen that costs so much money. These are little things I'm dealing with, but I deal with much bigger things. Helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
We brought helicopters into the scene of October 7th. I was told not to do it. And I actually was worried because they were threatening us to, if you bring in your helicopters, we'll shut you down. I said, I'm sorry. People are dying. I'm sending in my helicopters. They said, yes, it's dangerous. I said, the whole country is in war. We are under war. We are under putting our life in danger. Yes, we're going to send our helicopters in, and we did it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually called the Prime Minister's office, telling him that I have some problems, bureaucracy in the Ministry of Health. And he said, and the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff said, do whatever you need to do to save lives. We trust you.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really great. So talking about October 7th and the role that Hatzalah played saving people in and around, I guess, Gaza, within that area. So do you think that there were any major failures that happened in the response? If there was anything that specifically that Hatzalah jumped in on that was wise, that was maybe unwise. Anything to elaborate on that?
That is a great question because it could have been the worst day of United Hatzalah, and it could have been the last day of United Hatzalah too. We took risks that no one else took. And we allowed people to do things that normally would not be allowed.
And that's important.
Yeah, but I could have also said it could have been 100 volunteers killed. I don't know what. It could have been the worst. I mean, we had 3 volunteers killed that day. Mm-hmm. So it could have been the worst day of the organization, but it turned out to the day of the heroism of the organization. It showed what United Hatzalah is all about. Hundreds of lives were saved. Hundreds were saved. I told you the head of Mossad. But hundreds of people were saved by United Hatzalah that day because of the risk we took. If you go on HBO Max, they have a series called One Day of October. It just came out. The third episode is about United Hatzalah. It's called Ambulance. It's about 3 volunteers who decided to go into the most dangerous areas, although they were told not to go, because that's what we were told. Don't go, because they wanted to go into Kfar Aza. Kfar Aza was the worst place to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't listen. They went in, and then everyone followed them. All the United Hatzalah volunteers followed them, and you could see it. It's 3 Haredi, ultra-Orthodox volunteers who said, we don't care. On Shabbat, we came here to save lives. We're not going to stay outside. And it was an amazing Tikkun Olam story, Kiddush Hashem. And I think you should watch it. It just shows you what United Hatzalah is all about. We were said, they told us people are dying. You can't go in because more people will die. And we said, no, people are dying. We'll go save them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you save one guy who's like the head of Mossad now, we save hundreds of other people that each one is a life. It's worlds and worlds and worlds of people we saved. And you need chutzpah for that.
Yeah. So I guess, well, how would you describe the business model, sort of going back into the business aspect? How would you describe the business model of United Hatzalah, and how does that function?
It's interesting you're asking. It's a great question. You know, we are the only EMS organization that 100% of the emergencies are treated for free.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care if you have insurance
Really,
or
the
don't
only
have
one?
insurance. Yeah, we're the only national EMS in Israel.
In Israel. Okay.
Doesn't charge for service. Even here, Hatzalah here doesn't charge for service.
Yeah.
In Israel, if you don't have insurance, or if your insurance is not going to kick in, many of the times insurance doesn't kick in because they have rules when you can go to hospital, when not. A lot of people think twice when they call for an ambulance. United Hatzalah is totally free. Think about it. Ambulance services, they're supposed to double the prices in very soon. Double, not 10% more. In Israel, double. United Hatzelah's prices are not doubling or not tripling because we're zero. How do we keep this going? How do we keep United Hatzalah going? So we're based on volunteers, but we still have overhead. We still have people working in the organization. How do we keep that going? The gasoline, the insurance, and everything else. We have donors. We have donors who are young kids your age, like the Light Legacy donors. We have heroes that come ahead and they do bar mitzvah projects. They do mitzvah projects. We have people who I meet who give yearly, and they say, you know what, we'll give you $1,000 a year, $10,000 a year, $1 million a year. Just keep your work going. And we know how to run the budget properly. And it's not only in the United States, it's in Israel and Canada and Brazil and Mexico. And many countries, people want to help United Hatzalah. So we are based on volunteers and based on donors, and somehow it's working. And in between, we have coordinating everything as Hashem. We believe in Hashem.
Well, so what's the connection between United Hatzalah in Israel and Hatzalah in the U.S. and other countries and around? Well, what do you? Looks like we have 2 minutes left, so let's. Yeah. This is probably the last question. Then I'm gonna just ask you to make some closing statements. So, what's the connection between United Hatzalah in Israel and in other places?
Well, so we have a beautiful relationship between the different organizations, but they're all separate. Every Hatzalah in every city. New York has, Brooklyn has a few Hatzalahs like Borough Park and Flatbush and different. They all have their own fundraising efforts. We are in Israel. We united over 150 groups now, all over Israel. 150 Hatzalahs. Tzfat, Hatzalah of Meron, Hatzalah of Haifa, Hatzalah of Yerushalayim, Hatzalah of Tveria. And we call it United Hatzalah of Israel. Now,
these are separate organizations?
No, in Israel, we united everyone under one. Here in America, like Florida, Hatzalah of South Florida is a separate organization, not connected to us financially, but they're not connected to any other Hatzalah financially. They are friends. We're all friends, believe in the same mission. And that's the beauty about it. Israel is the largest Hatzalah in the world. We have 8,000 members, and we're growing. We're going to be 16,000. And my goal and my finishing statement is that I want a lot of the people listening to me that one day you should join United Hatzalah, become a medic, life-saving. If you don't want to move to Israel, go join the local Hatzalahs. And also support United Hatzalah. We have books that we actually, my book 90 Seconds, which I love. It's a great book. And it's something you can learn more about the organization. And Angels in Orange about October 7th. And also, we have a lot of ways of joining the Light Legacy Heroes. And you could join, and we have a lot of awards we give. We have scholarships to a camp. We have Camp Rescue in Israel. It's a month camp. If you are really involved, you could win. You could win a month in Israel with the Light Legacy Hero Camp together with the NCSY. So we want more and more kids and your age to be involved with United Hatzalah.
Very cool. So I guess just open-ended, just to finish it off, if there's anything that you want to say to people watching, those physically here with us, just to finish everything off.
So first of all, I must say that you are an amazing group of kids. I'm so honored that I was able to speak here, and I hope I come every year. And JLA, you are, I mean, this school is probably one of the best schools in the United States, or in the world even. And to be here today in a school that if I was your age, I would probably not be accepted to be learning here. And to come here one day and to speak here is a great achievement for me and an honor. And I hope I come again. And I hope to see you in Israel. We're going to have you volunteer with us in Israel when you come to Israel on the trips.
Well, it's been an honor to have you.
Thank you so much. It's great being here, too.
Thank you so much for coming. And that'll be all, people.
Thank you.